get a new one, but I haven't been bothered to. I'm like, it's not a good enough
Oh,
reason.
I want to get a really comfy one, but I just haven't done it yet. One of these days.
You'll notice too, I'll be sitting here talking, and then all of a sudden I'm like, doot, 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 doot.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm like, hey. Like
Well, it's
somebody's
better
trying
than
to
going up, right?
I have to fix it. It's kind of annoying. We'll see. I feel like every time and I'm talking about something serious when it happens too. And then
Of course, because why wouldn't it happen when you're being serious? It's not going to happen when you're just hanging out and being normal. It's going to be something totally ridiculous. You know? Yeah. Well, that's the universe.
There's a Mr. Bradley Bay in the house. Good morning, brother. Hope you had a good evening.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. How's it going? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Charisse. How is everybody?
Michelle. Sorry.
Your hair looks amazing. I agree.
Oh, hey, I have this really cool, like it's all different color effect, but it's not on purpose. My hairdresser couldn't get it the color I wanted, and it just turned out like 3 different colors. And she goes, I can fix that. And I said, no, let's keep it. It looks cool. So I just kept it. It's like orange and then like yellow and green or something, and blue maybe. Yeah. I love it. It's mermaid colors now.
Mermaid colors, yes.
Yes. Oh, let me get my papers. I assume we're going to do some numerology today, so gotta be ready. I bet
people would love that.
Yes.
I'm especially interested in the Lion's Gate and what the heck that was, because that was intense.
Yeah. Well, today's the portal's still open, so today is the last day for the portal, and really, guys, set your intentions because the portal's not closed yet. You can still lock in that energy, like call in what you want for the next year. And this is like a really high, powerful energy because we also have that Sturgis full moon, or I think it was the Sturgis full moon. I don't know if I'm right about that.
Yeah, the sturgeon. It's a big fish.
Sturgeon, that's the one. Yes. Okay, cool.
We were out swimming in a big lake during the sturgeon full moon and down in Missouri. Nice. It was beautiful.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw you guys putting on 4-wheelers. That looked fun.
Yeah.
a while ago now, but
yeah. Bradley's a bit of a daredevil, aren't you, Bradley? It was a great time. It was funny because my son, he allowed my son to drive. My son is only 9. And he was like, yeah, you could drive. And he was really excited about it. But he ended up taking the corner around the house a little too fast. Bradley got knocked off. He was fine, obviously. But my little guy got really scared. And he was even too scared to get back on the quad. And Bradley was like, nope, come on. You got to face your fear. Come on. You got to try it again. You got to get back on the horse, so to speak. And I'm really glad that
get back up. Yeah.
It really is, because now he's more confident and he's willing to do it again. Whereas the first time he was a bit scared to.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Oh, hi, funny. Dale. Hi, Laura. I'm glad you guys are here. Hi, Jessica. I love that I see names I recognize. I think that's really cool. You know?
It is. Yes. We've had a very dedicated community following this podcast for about 2 years now.
It's been amazing. It's good.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride. Never a dull moment.
Do you still like doing it? That's the real question. You do it every day.
Talking to people like you is honestly one of the highlights of my week.
Oh,
you know,
I love that.
It is. I love hanging out with you guys, and it is work. I mean, but at the same time, it's not as much work as if you enjoy something, you know, it becomes a part of your day and you get used to it. And now it's like, I'll probably do this for the rest of my life. Who knows?
I know. You know, so I only go live once a week, and I have thought so many times, like, this is too much. I'm dedicating too much. You go every day. I don't know how you do that. That's amazing. That's dedication. I just love you
guys. I really do. I love this community. Yeah. And honestly, when I have to take a week off, it feels weird.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah, I only take off when I absolutely have to. I think I could count on one hand how many times I've not been there in 2 years, but yeah, but I can't imagine doing it every day. I don't think I have that dedication.
Well, it's important to take time for yourself. I did take a week off when we had that retreat, so that way we could just do whatever and not have any like obligations we have to stick to.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to France in a couple weeks, so that'll be another week I probably end up taking off. We'll see.
Nice.
But
how was your retreat?
It was incredible. When you come together to meet people, because we're so spread out, and when you have a really big community, but that community is spread all over the world, and you don't really get to hang out with people in person, it almost feels like your friends are in the computer rather than in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to actually have people that were hanging out with me every day on the podcast to come and hang out with us in person, it was the most magical experience. Getting to know everybody and really like not just having them pop up as a name, but get to know them as a person and as a friend. Yeah. And it's honestly one of the best
level, right?
It does. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Plus we learn a lot from each other and we just have a great time. And you can tell. It's funny because we would have more people show up. It was almost like one of those come and go as you please kind of retreats.
Cool. That's fun.
So when people would show up, new people would come in and the group would get bigger. We could feel the vibration rising. We could literally feel the energies getting stronger and higher. And then as people were leaving, it was funny. It was kind of noticing that the vibration would go down a little bit when they left.
Yeah. Wow. So that's cool.
It just goes to show we really do like bring each other up and help, refill that cup. When you spend all your time with people who don't even know all the things that you're into, who don't realize, all the, just nice to speak freely and to be your authentic self with people who understand you.
Yeah. And we're talking very seriously now about holding my first retreat. I talked about it for last spring, but then I had like a crazy life, happen. And now we're talking about it very seriously for next spring. I think we're
absolutely should, Tami. I bet you people would love it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it in Austin though, just so that it's like close to me, and I feel like it's already outside of my comfort zone. So
that's a good way to start. That's it. That's the best way to do it, is to start close to home until you work your way up and build your confidence. The next thing you know, you'll be doing them around the world in a few years.
Yes. Well, that's what, so I don't know if you know Yolanda, but she's one of my graduate students, and she's like always around my world. She's around your world too. But she has hosted several retreats, so she's helping me like organize it and get it together. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be really fun, but I have till spring, so I have a lot of time to think about it,
all the time you need.
Yeah. So,
and I'm happy to promote it when you do get your retreat going, because I'm sure there's a lot of my community would love to be there.
Yeah, thank you. That would be awesome. So
what have you been up to? We had an incredible retreat, but I think the Lionsgate energies kind of added to it as well. Yeah, the intensity of all that energy that we had. So I'm just curious, is there any, because a lot of people were having discussions about this and about the Gregorian calendar and how it doesn't really, line up to anything now that they've changed our calendars, and the 8/8 doesn't really mean anything, but I don't agree with that. And I'm wondering if you do as well.
I don't agree with that, because I think that the collective consciousness is actually what sets the tone and the vibration, so it doesn't really matter what you call it, like it doesn't matter what is accurate. It matters what is agreed upon, because whatever is agreed upon, the collective is going to rise the energy to. So like if we all think it's 888, then it's going to open that portal or not 888, but 88, it's going to open that portal, and it's going to be that magnification of that energy. And I think that's always how it works, because we're in a made up reality anyway. So like, it's not actually set in stone anyway. It's always the group consciousness that's making it happen here. So
no, that's very true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So human belief does have some. So what about the 8s then? I remember you talking a little bit about
okay. Yeah, we talked about 8s because you have a hard 8, I think, and so do I. Every time I come here, I should just have your numbers in front of me, but I don't know why I don't. But I should always. I know you have an 8. I know you have a 5, and what else do you have?
13 in there too. I love that 13. 5,
oh
13,
yeah, 13. 5, 13. Say it again.
85.
85. Okay. Just so I can look at it while I'm talking to you, because I can always tell you things that like maybe I didn't tell you before, because a lot of energy comes through as it's necessary to come through. So you have that hard 8. When we talk about 8s, 8 is an amazing number. It's also the hardest number that you can have in the chart. So like I have a hard 8 as well. That's why I think me and you kind of get each other on some level, like on a real deep level, actually. Because the 8 is the sufferer, the 8 is the victim, the 8 is the one who comes with the baggage almost, because it's like a very karmic number. It's the root chakra, so it's your connection to the earth. And the thing about the 8 is that you could be someone who suffers your whole life, like a victim of circumstance almost, or you can take that victim of circumstance and you can turn it into this master manifester who like rules the world almost. That's why the 8-8 energy is so big, because it's the abundance number as well. It's like, so if you think about the 80s, you could think about, sex, drugs, rock and roll, materialism, vanity. The magnification of all of that would be the Lionsgate portal. It would be like, what do you want to call in? You can have anything that you want. And whenever you think about the 80s, you go, oh man, that was a time for fun. Like that was a time for adventure. That was a time of being wild, because it's also the explorer and the adventurer and the one who really feels life. If you're ever around someone with an 8, they're going to be the one that pulls you out of like your funk. Like you're always like, I have to work. I have to do this. I have to keep going on and going on. And somebody with an 8 will come along and they'll be like, just put it down and let's go have fun for the day, and they'll be like, let's go wild. Now, you might not be that person all the time because you are a planner. So that takes you out of your spontaneity that comes from the 8. You would prefer a plan, but you still have that spontaneous side.
I'm happy to deviate from the plan if we need to.
Yeah. I always say that men are really good at helping women, because men live more in the moment and women live more in the future. They're kind of like, what's next? Let's plan it out. Let's figure it out. Let's always know the plan. And men are always kind of like living in the moment, making sure they can, have fun and whatever. And they'll always make you drop everything and have fun. So I think that's why we're perfect pairings, but I think that's a lot of 8 energy, that man energy.
All the babies are agreeing with you right now.
Yeah.
Steph is singing "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" right now, aren't you, Steph?
That's right. That's right. That's a good thing for the 8. A good metaphor, I guess.
Yeah, definitely agree. The 80s were great.
But the 8's all about abundance. So that's what you're calling in with the Lionsgate portal. You're kind of dropping all the heaviness of the 8, and you're picking up all the lightness, all the spontaneity, all the beautiful adventure and the experience. You want to bring in all the manifestation stuff, all the abundance, That's why you want to play with that energy. But you have to be careful with that energy. So that's the thing about an 8, is that it's also a dangerous energy, because it is such a karmic number and such an earth number.
And repeating patterns.
Yes. So it's almost a dangerous number if you go at it with bad intentions. So if you're not coming from your heart, you're not coming from a good place, the things that you're going to call in are not going to be rooted right, and so that could cause some trouble, but for the most part, it's fun.
When you misuse the law of attraction and you're trying to manifest something, but you don't word it the right way, and then you end up with an abundance of something you didn't want in the first place.
Yeah. I have a perfect little story for that. So there was this guy that said to me when I was young, like a young adult, I was like in my early 20s. He said, "Be careful what you wish for." I don't remember why he said it, but he said, "Be careful what you wish for." And I said, "Oh, I'm just going to call in whatever the heck I want," because I was always a manifester, because of my heart 8. And he said that he wanted a new nose, and he wanted that so bad, like growing up. And he ended up getting in an accident with a bicycle, actually, where he went like head over the bicycle, and his face actually was completely kind of ripped off. And then he had to get a whole new nose and new teeth and everything. I will say he was one of the hottest guys I've ever met, so it was okay. But
they did a good job fixing it up, huh?
They did a great job fixing him up. He's an old boyfriend from a really long time ago. But he would always say, be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. And it always made me think, like, with intention, like, what do I want and why do I want it? Yeah.
That line in the song with 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife.
Right. I love that line. I love that song and I love that line. So yeah.
I'm singing in my head right now. I don't know.
Yeah. In no time that'll be playing in my head too.
But it's true. You have to focus on what you do want rather than what you don't. And self-sabotage is very easy if you're not using the law of attraction wisely. Reminds me of like Harry Potter and when Weasley's broken wand, when you keep manifesting the things you don't want.
Yeah. Well, and Weasley has a lot of 8 energy. Like, so like when you work with the numbers, you can feel energy. And it's almost like, what I tell my class is that it's almost like each number is a being of its own. Like, it feels like a walking, living being when you're working with the energy. And you can feel who people are walking in. So for you, I feel a lot of 5 energy. Like, you feel like a 5 to me. And the reason why is because you're such a nurturer and you're such a guide for others. Like, you're a teacher, and you radiate that teaching energy, and you radiate that motherly grandmother energy as well.
Mama Bear, but yes.
Yes, you absolutely have that. And so to me, you feel like a 5 when I'm around you. And it's not always that, though, because sometimes when I'm around you, I feel your 8 as well, because the 8 is like I feel weighed down kind of energy sometimes. I'll feel that around you. Maybe like I would say 2 or 3 times ago when I was on here, I asked you, I was like, "Are you doing okay?" Because I felt a lot of that heavy energy.
That's what life is right now. It's a big roller coaster.
Yeah. But you're really heavy in your 5s right now, I feel. So
I'm curious, why do they call it a hard 8? Somebody else was just asking that as well.
So a hard 8, in the way that I practice, my mom probably wouldn't say this, but this is how I do it. I call it a hard 8 because, well, first of all, the 8's the hardest number in the chart. It's the hardest. It's a karmic number, and it's your connection to the earth. It's a physical number. So it's a hard number. Just that makes it hard. But really I call it that because you're walking it. And when I say that you're walking it, it means that it's not only in your physical row of your chart. So it's in the physical. It's also in your goal column because it's the only one that you have there. So when you have a number, any number, I could show you a chart. And then I could just show you what I'm talking about a little bit, at least. I have a big one. Well, actually, I might have a big one right here. Sorry, I have my class documents here as well. So maybe it's like right out because I was just using it last week or the week before. So this is a chart, okay? And so I'm not going to go over the whole thing because that's ridiculous. But basically, like, you have the spiritual, the mental, and the physical. Those are the 3 aspects of being human, and what we're doing here is we're trying to learn every aspect there is of being human. Well, if you just have an 8 down here, it's going to come over here and this is your goal column. So anything in your goal column, those are going to be the things that you're working on in this lifetime. So if you only have that 8, you're going to be walking that 8. And that's going to be the highest concentration of that number that you could have, So when you have it like that, it means that you're going to be the full embodiment of it. So like you're going to have all the hard stuff and all of the good stuff. So you're going to be as much the master manifester as the poverty victim, thing. It's going to be both. And then you're going to also be the full humanitarian. The 8 is the
but you spend it equally as quickly, like it comes and goes quickly kind of vibe.
Well, you kind of like, it's because you're trying to learn it, you're trying to understand it and get like, you're trying to get you're trying to get to the best side of it, and you're trying to learn as much as you can, so that you can turn it into that master manifestor and be that person that's glowing with the 8 rather than a victim of the 8. Every number has a good side and a bad side, and the 8 is the hardest one because it puts you in such a poverty mindset and such a victim mode. It can, but the thing is, you're going to cycle through it. So like something that I know about you by looking at your chart is that you go through cycles of depression. You go through times of maybe even suicidal thoughts because you really go through it. Like you have the weight of the world on you, and you're here to break generational trauma. So you're somebody who is like, you're setting the path. Like you look at everything around you when you come in and your family and around you, and you go, well, yeah, we're not doing it this way, and you like literally break the mold, which is obvious with you, but I would know that anyway, because it's very obvious in your chart, So that's very hard because you're going to be very
Earth is hard, for sure. And yeah, you were spot on. I've had 4 suicide attempts in this life, but fortunately, ever since I started getting clearings, all of that went away. So now expressing gratitude, I think, is one of the most important things about being abundant, because if you are grateful for what you already have, even if it's only a little bit, the universe will give you more, because why should it give you anything if you don't appreciate what you have? So that understanding has completely changed my outlook. And also, I've also had a very weird relationship with money, because when I have it in abundance, I'm actually a little too generous with it. I was the kind of, especially like when I was making money through articles, because there were certain articles that I would write, and I had, when I was working for the Mind Unleashed and Spirit Science and the Earth Tribe, which was my own publishing company, I ended up making almost $10,000 a month back then. This was like 10 years ago. And when that would happen, I mean, I went nuts. Like I would buy my friends like vehicles. I would take like 20 people out to dinner and pay for everything. I would, you know what I mean? Like I felt like, because I'd been broke so long, and because I was a homeless backpacker, I got by with literally like $10 to my name for many years too. Wow. So it's like, when it rains, it pours. And when it's raining, I have always been very, very generous with it. But sometimes I've realized to my own detriment, where people will come to me if they have a problem and they expect me to just start shelling out cash instantly for them. Like I had one friend that was like, I'm in an emergency, I need you to buy me a flight. And I did. I paid $800 for his ticket. And then the next day he told me, no, I changed my mind. I'm not using the flight. I didn't use it anyway.
Oh my goodness.
This is the kind of repeating cycle I have with money. You know what I mean? Where I can be through periods of being completely flat broke and still getting by the skin of my teeth, as they say, or by having so much money I don't know what to do with it all, so I just give it all away.
Well, and that is the cycle that you're in, and it's because 8 is a pattern number, like you said. It's like that loop, that infinity loop. The thing about the 8, so I also have the exact same thing going on in my life that you do, because we both have the same heart 8, that is all coming from the 8, most of it. Some of it's coming from your 5, your 5s. But the thing is that you are the humanitarian. So you are the person that knows what it's like to suffer, and you feel the heartbeat of the world, which means you feel the suffering, because it's a lot of suffering here, you're not somebody that would see homeless people and just say, oh, sucks for them. You're somebody that would sit alongside the road with them, and you would give them anything you had. It's almost more than the shirt off your back. It's like you are the generous soul. You are the authentic person that walks in your truth, and you don't pull punches because of that. Luckily you have a 3 that kind of helps you a little bit, because it pulls you out of that energy a little bit, so that you do think about yourself, hopefully, at times. But you have really hard numbers when it comes to, so you're an extreme people pleaser, and then you're also the humanitarian. So you have that like real pull to like give up all of you for all of them. And you have to always be careful with that, because it's a beautiful way to be, but it will ruin your life.
I know. I've noticed. Yeah. I've attracted the wrong kind of people into my life for that reason, because it says, they say givers need to set limits because takers rarely do.
That's right.
I've noticed some fake friends in my life that I've been way too generous with, to the point where it's almost like they have these demands and expectations that I have to meet under threat of all kinds of stuff. It's been drama that I've been dealing with for the last 2 months.
Oh, I'll tell you, I have my share of drama as well. I've had an extreme amount of betrayal this year. And loss, like betrayal and loss. And I can tell you exactly why that is, though, because we're going through a serious identity year. And I may have talked about this last time I was here, but I did not know this, okay, until the spirit guides started telling me at the beginning of this year. I could feel it, but I didn't know what it was that I was feeling. And we just entered a 9 year this year. So like 2025 is a 9 year. Okay. A nine is very significant because it is the end of one thing and the beginning of another. It is the end of a cycle, Oh, hi, Brandon. Sorry, I just saw that. Brandon's my old coaching client and I love him. Hi. Anyway, yeah, so I know, because I've been practicing this forever. It feels like I've been doing this for 20 years now. So I feel like I know that we enter a new cycle every 10 years. That's very obvious to me. Like if you look at any decade in the past, you'll see exactly what we're going to enter now. It's very, very, like, just compare the pandemic in the 20s to the pandemic in our 20s. It's the same thing. Like, we've had very, cyclical things happen in the world. Okay. Because that's because of the vibration of the numbers. They create a pattern, so if you follow that pattern, you'll know what's going to happen, Anyway, so I knew that every 10 years we go through this question of, what do we want? Where do we want to be? Where do we want to work? Who do we want to be with? What kind of car do we want to drive? What kind of house do we want to live in? Things like that, like a material question where I think all of us could agree that when we hit 2020, we were all asked that very strongly. What are we going to do without our material things, and our stability? So I knew that question happens every 10 years, very obviously. Well, what I didn't know is that every 10 years in the middle of that cycle, we're asked a different question. And that's the year that we're in now. And that's a much more significant question. So we are being asked this year, and I know that all of you are feeling it because everyone I've talked to about this feels it, just didn't know what it was, a lot of them. You're being asked, who do you want to be? Not what do you want to be, not where do you want to be, who do you want to be? And it doesn't, like, this is the thing. It doesn't matter what the answer is. The universe doesn't give a shit if you're a good person, a bad person. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. That's up to you, and that's up to your soul and your path. That doesn't actually matter. What matters is that you make that decision, though, that you do not leave this year, at the end of this cycle of this year, without choosing, who do I want to be? What do I want people to see me as? How do I want people to respect me or not respect me? Or how do I want to be taken? How do I want to be seen? How do I want to be known? What do I want to leave behind if I don't make it through the next 10 years? So it's an identity year. And I've been saying for months now, I am having the most severe identity crisis I think I've had probably in 10 years, but you're being asked, who do you want to be now? So do you want to be someone that can be trusted and someone who lives in integrity, or do you not want to be? It doesn't matter. The universe doesn't give a crap who we want to be. They just want to support that. So it's like you can call in any life that you want and you can be anything that you want to be, but you have to make that declaration. So when you say, I want to be a good person, I want to live in integrity, I want people to respect me, admire me, learn from me, I want to put good in the world, then the universe says, okay, got it, I'm going to do that with you. When you say, I want to be deceptive, I want to get my way, I want to care about me, the universe says the same thing. Got it. Now we know what to work on. The universe doesn't care. There's nothing wrong. There's no right and wrong. And that's what really, I think, messes with humans is like, when you look at it from a spiritual point of view, there is no actual right or wrong. We all take roles, and every lifetime you play a new role. So you can be a shitty person. That's perfectly fine, but you need to make that decision and then walk it for the next 10 years, and then, decide again then, but definitely make that decision, make that declaration. And that's why Lionsgate actually is so important, just to bring it back around. Every year at Lionsgate, we get this big question, this big energy field that opens that says, what do you want? I will give you anything. You just tell me what you want, and the universe is listening. And that's why this energy is important. So, and again, we're on the last day of it before the portal closes. Set those intentions today and say, this is what I want. And don't just say like, I want a good life, I want to have money, I want to be stable, things like that. No, say, I like this, I don't like that. I like this, I don't like that. Like really set intentions. Say, if I was going to call in the best man of my life, what would he be like? If I'm going to call in the best friend that's not going to betray me, what would she be like? If I want the best business, what would that be like? What would it feel like? What would it look like? What would it walk like?
See it in your mind's eye. Yes. Create it in your mind and you attract it into your life.
And feel it as strongly as you can, because then you will actually be talking to the universe, because we talk in vibration. We talk
that movie Bedazzled. Do you guys remember that movie with Brendan Fraser where he like meets the devil and he starts asking for favors and he's not specific enough and he keeps getting things but it's not what he wants, and he's like, God damn it, and every time he's got to do it again, because there's always some little context that is very, very important, which changes the whole like next life you have. And it's I often think about that movie because there's a very important lesson in there about being direct and being very specific about what you're trying to attract. The most sensitive man in the world. That was hilarious. Like,
yeah. No, but that's true. I mean, it really does matter, because you're going to get exactly what you call in. I use this like metaphor where I'm like, okay, I'm sitting at my desk, and on one side of my desk, I have a whole big stack of bills that I don't know how to pay and I don't know what I'm going to do about. And it really brings me stress. And then on the other side of my desk, I have all the clippings from all the magazines of, my vision board and where I want to go and what I want to do and all the places I want to see and all the things. And so where am I going to focus? If I focus on the bills, the universe goes, oh, she loves bills, let's give her more, But if I focus on the adventure and the places I want to go, they go, oh, she loves adventure, I want to give her more of that. But either way, the universe just matches whatever you're saying, so be careful when you're driving to work and you're on the highway and you go, oh, I hate traffic so much. Traffic is so horrible. And I hate my boss. My boss is going to be mad at me and all this crap. Because all the universe hears is she loves traffic. She wants more of that because that's all she's talking about to us. She loves a shitty boss. So let's make another shitty boss right after him, But that's what the universe does. It matches who we are and how we're vibrating, not what we're saying. You can say anything you want. And That's why affirmations are controversial, because affirmations, you can say anything you want, like, I have this good life, but if you don't believe that you have that good life, an affirmation doesn't mean anything. It's the vibration behind it. So you have to actually psych yourself up to believe that, and then the universe matches whatever that is, because whatever you're vibrating at is what you're going to get. So go look at the stack of bills, and all you're thinking about is, oh my God, I can't pay my bills. Oh no. And the universe is like, oh, she loves bills. Let's give her more, But yeah.
We were talking yesterday about doing a burn and release. I just want to applaud Angie. Angie said she did this. She wrote the letter last night to remove all that doesn't serve her, and she burned it to ash. Nice, Angie.
Yay. Good job.
Releasing all the things that no longer serve you. And then once you've released it, you don't dwell on it. It's in the past. You leave the past in the past, and you focus on what you want to set your intentions on, what you want to attract into your life. And once it's been released, it's no longer, something that you have to focus on. So let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Very important for this time.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, can we look into some people's favorite numbers? Because we've been talking. One person asked about 42. I love the number 42. It's because of Hitchhiker's Guide, of course, but there might be other meaning to it, and I'm curious if you know of any other meaning of it.
42 is a significant number that I think a lot of people see for some reason, because I get that. I've gotten that one before. Like, I've been asked that one before. So a 4 is all about the many directions. Think of like a compass, and you're being pulled in many directions. Okay. And then a 2 is all about emotions and love. And, like, it's all about, relationships, and it's about trust. Okay. Because it's your heart chakra. So the 4 with the 2, it would be like, there's many directions to love. It could be that, or there's many opportunities, and they want you to trust that. Or it could be, there's many decisions to make, and they would want you to trust that. Like, it's either about, so like, that's the thing with repeating numbers. It's always interpretive. Like, it depends on what you're going through. So like, what you want to do with the repeating numbers, you want to take the first one and then add it to the second one as a story, make a number story out of it. So you want to say 4 could mean the many directions that I'm going in. It could mean many opportunities. It could be many decisions, could be many people, many doors opening, things like that. It could be chaos, because you could be pulled in all the different directions. But then you add that to the 2, and then the 2 is all about relationships, trust, love. It could be saying there's many ways that love could come to you, or maybe like doors are opening now for love, or something like that. Like, a lot of times when you see a 42, it's going to be, so it's always a message from your spirit guides, and it is always them telling you, that they're trying to give you some kind of advice or some kind of guidance. So if you're seeing a 42, I would say they're telling you to trust something usually. And it's usually that there are opportunities. For me, if I would see it, I would say they're trying to remind me that there are opportunities everywhere, and that I should trust that, my options aren't over. That's what I would take it as. But that's not necessarily how someone else might take it. It depends on what you're going through. Something that's really interesting, actually. So I'm writing a book about repeating numbers and how to learn how to decipher them, and how to learn the language, basically, that your guides speak to you in. Well, the guides told me very recently, a few months ago, they said, how you see, like, you'll have like a time in your life where probably a lot of times where you'll see like 1111, and then 222, and then 333, and 444, and 888. You'll see it like kind of like really quickly all the time. Everywhere you go, you'll just see a different pattern, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, why am I seeing 222, 333, 555, 888, and people will come to me and they'll be like, I just see all of them like over and over. Well, the guides finally told me, because I used to decipher each one and say, oh, it means this, oh, it means that, oh, it means that. They said when they're doing that, when they're like bombarding you like that, fast fire like that, of a whole bunch of them, they're actually just trying to get your attention. They're trying to remind you that they're there. And as soon as you say, I hear you, I see you, I know you're trying to talk to me, then they send you the message. That's just a billboard to remember that they're helping you. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, you know, because I never thought about that, you know, but that's what they told me.
I always say, I see you, and then I blow a kiss.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But they're trying to establish a relationship with you. Like, that's actually what they're trying to do. And so when they send it fast fire like that, kind of, they'll send you all those things. They're going, hey, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. It's like they're jumping up and down and saying, I'm here, I want to work with you. And then you go, oh, okay, I see you, I want to work with you too. Then they go, okay, now let me tell you something. And they'll send you like 224 or 228 or 667. And then you go, well, now what does that mean? You know, and that's why you need
I have noticed they like to repeat things, and it's funny how much we brush it off. Like, for the last couple days, I've been having this most random name popping up in my head. Yeah, and it was the name Mackenzie, and I'm like, Mackenzie, what? And then all of a sudden I'm doing clearings yesterday, and I realized it's the last name of my gatekeeper, my Highlander gatekeeper.
Oh.
His name is Fergus Mackenzie. And I didn't know this because he was trying to tell me his last name. And I was just like, why do I keep hearing fucking Mackenzie in my head? And then I realized what it was. And I was like, holy shit, he's been trying to tell me for a week. And I didn't even realize why it was in my head or what for.
Yeah. Well, but that's what they do. They'll tell you over and over until you get it. So that's why your repeating number will change. You know, like a lot of people will go, oh, my favorite number is this because I see it for like a year now. They're like, this is now my favorite number. That's cool and cute, but the truth is that you're only seeing it all the time because you're not freaking getting it. You know, like, and the guides are going, come on, I'm trying to show you. And you're like, I see it, I love it, now it's my number. And they're like, we're not trying to show you a number, we're trying to show you a message. We're trying to say this is a message for you. And once you get that message and what it means, then they show you the next one and then the next one. And I call that breadcrumbs, you know, like that's how they help us. They go, oh, hey, trust your future. And then you go, okay, I get it. And then they start showing you what that future is. They're like, here's the path. And then here's the next part of the path. And when you listen, it's like, you know, you get led. But if you just see the same number, it's cute, but it's really not what they're trying for.
Oh man, no, I that is exactly what I do, because 144 has now become my favorite number for that reason.
144. Yes, yeah, I see that everywhere. Do you know what that means?
I just call it the angel number of the star seeds, really.
Do you want to know what they're trying to tell you?
I've attributed to it, so I kind of see it as like a breadcrumb, like, oh, there it is, you're still in alignment, you know.
So they're telling you that you're on the path to opportunities. Like they're trying to tell you that more and more doors are opening. So a 1 is your path, and it's the path straight ahead. They're trying to tell you you are walking toward the opportunities now. They're not just in the air waiting for you. Now you are walking toward them and the doors are opening. You can think of it as a long hallway of just doors opening. That's what a 144 is, you know. Wow. Yeah, it's like
so
many.
There's a lot of people that also think about 911. I see that's kind of funny. And
so 911, yeah, that's a really significant one as well, because 911 in our society is danger and alarm and, you know, all those things. So it could mean that it could be alerting you to something, but it can also be so the 9 is about the future. And 1s are about your path and how you're walking and your determination and motivation and things like that. So if you're seeing that as a message and you're not taking it as an alarm going off, then it could mean it's talking about the path of your future. It's saying, you know, I guess it's saying like the future, is directing you, like walk toward your future. That's what it would say. It would say like follow the path to your future, because they're always trying to tell you that like what you're going through is temporary, and they're always trying to get you to realize that things happen in moments, not lifetimes, and they're always trying to guide you to see the next thing. I just saw somebody, so Pensy puts, I've been seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was seeing that a lot a couple of years ago when my business was finally working for the first time. And it was like I was seeing 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. And for me, that meant take the next step, and then the next step,
one
the
step
next
in
step,
front of
just
the other. That's what I see.
Yes, that was hard for me though. Because man, it's so hard when you start getting any kind of success, you want all of it. Like you're like, I want to be there now. And they're like, you're not ready now. Take one more step.
I was gonna say it's the reverse ones that I've tend to notice that more though. They're like 3, 2, 1. They're like you need to go back to the beginning, to restart, to
yes,
back the steps. That one's even more like
Do you know what else though about these messages are? A lot of times it's telling you whatever it is, like whatever it means to you when you first see it, that's actually the message. Like what I want people to know all the time is that your guides are trying to talk to you. They're not trying to talk to your neighbor. They're not trying to talk to your friend. They're not telling you, they're not talking in codes. Like they are telling you something that they assume that you could understand. It is a code. But they're trying, but it's the code that they talk in. They're not trying to get you to decipher it. They're trying to get you to trust them. And so like when they send you something, it's because they think that you could understand. So like I'll give you a perfect example. Okay. And this is the one I always use. There's this girl that came to me, a coaching client, and on our first call, she says, I keep seeing this date. And I'm like, okay, what's the date? And I write it down and I'm like about to make a number story out of it. And then I said, but wait, does that date mean anything to you? And she goes, not really. And then she's like, well, it is the anniversary of my ex-husband when we got married. And I was like, and that doesn't mean anything to you? But she's like, well, I don't really think about him anymore, but he did die last year. And I was like, he's trying to tell you that he's here. Like that's all you're seeing this for. Like he's just telling you that he's here.
That's how frustrated he is. He's like, damn it, she didn't get it this time.
Yeah, but she's like thinking it's this deep message because she doesn't think about him that much. But all he's saying is, I'm still here. I didn't leave you, like I didn't leave the kids. I'm still here, And she thought like there's such a deeper message, but there's not most of the time. Most of the time, it is the easiest thing you can think about. Most of the time, if you see 911, it does mean some kind of alert somewhere.
Or just pay attention. Yeah, be alert.
Yeah.
Even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just think of it like if someone was trying to talk to you, they would try and talk in a language that you could understand. They don't want you to not understand it.
Well, going back to the words that a lot of people think are negative, one of my favorite numbers is 13. A lot of people think that 13 is a negative number, but I don't. And somebody else just mentioned, thank you, Michelle, 666. Yeah. And I look at it's different because I call it like the pregnant ladies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we talked about that before.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's a positive thing. It just depends on how you look at it.
Well, I mean, if you ever just think about anything in your life, like everything's we live in kind of a world that's like upside down world, like everything's backwards. Like we've been conditioned to believe that nothing is the right thing. Like we're always told like one thing is one thing, and then we realize it's done the complete wrong way, So like think about like a janitor. Janitors make the least money and they're the least respected in a company, yet they're very, very essential, and the business couldn't even run without them. But then like the CEO who like doesn't really do much, they hire people to do all their work a lot of times, they're making the most money. And it's like always been opposite. We disrespect the person that's on the bottom when really the person on the bottom is the one supporting the whole cause, you know?
Yep.
And same with like teachers. Teachers are the ones that move the world, and we pay them the least. Like, that doesn't make sense, you know? So
All by
everything's
design.
like that. So like if you think about 666, that's like a really good that's a really good example of that.
Anything the church demonizes, it's probably actually a good thing hidden, but they don't want you to know that.
Well, what I want you to know is that 666 is probably the best number in the whole chart. Like, as far as like, if you take all numbers, like from 1 to 1,000, 666 is the highest concentration of creation energy, because 6 is all about creativity and beautifulness, and it's all about nature and the world being beautiful and leaving the world a better place for you having been here. If there was a dark number, it would be 888. It would not be 666. 666 would be the most beautiful number you ever saw, the most beautiful person you ever met. And 888 could be a very dark soul, you know? So, I mean, it wouldn't have to be. It's just that it could be in the reverse, you know? But I believe that we've always been told that 666 is bad because you could harness that energy if you knew that. You know, if you knew that that energy was such a high vibrating energy of creation, you could harness that. And the agenda is not.
Scared of it, just like they have with 13. Like they wouldn't even, like back in the day, they wouldn't even have a 13th floor of a hotel. They would just skip that number.
And do you know why 13 is painted as a bad number? Because again, it's an energy that you could harness. So like if you think about numbers, they're all about vibration, and they all vibrate a different way. So the way that you combine them is the energy that they hold. So like a 13 is all about rebirth, and it's about new discoveries, and it's about becoming new again. It's about taking something, you know, that is the way it is and turning it completely around into something completely, totally different. So like if you have a rebirth in a lifetime, it means you're going to have, your life is going to go a certain way up to a certain point. Then something's going to happen that changes it in an instant into something completely different. So it's a number of transformation, and it's a number of recreation. It's a very powerful number that if you learned how to harness it, you could change the world. You could change your life. The agenda is not for us to have power. That's all it is, you know. God bless you.
Releasing something with the 13 there.
Yeah. But it's true. Like if you ever think of anything that you're afraid of, always go, why would someone want me to be afraid of that? And then tell yourself, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of, because fear is literally just created. Everything is just created. You don't have to feel that, you know, unless you choose to. And fear will keep you stuck, you know. So
Michelle says, I was born on the 13th and I am no mistake and I am not bad luck. Amen to that, Michelle.
No,
same here.
Absolutely. I agree. I love Michelle.
Oh, I love that. Well, somebody else asked about palindrome numbers.
Yeah, like the ones that are the same reverse.
Reverse, yeah, front and back. If you reverse them, they're exactly the same.
They hold a lot of powerful energy.
What kind of thing? So I'm wondering how that works.
So those kind of numbers hold a lot of power because they can be, you know, like they can. Sorry. You know, they go one way, but they can also go the opposite way. It's almost like you can use them both sides of them. You know, like if you took a whole number that's like, you know, goes in a row like that, and then it also reverses like that. It's like an energy that kind of shifts. It's like a shape-shifting energy, you know. I just think of everything as energy, beings and things like that. And whenever you think in energy, you understand how life works, you know, because that all of life is energy. We're not real. This isn't real. This is just like a fabrication. And if you understand that, you don't actually have the problems that other people have, you know, because you don't take it so seriously then.
I don't know why, even just hearing somebody else say that, it gives me like this sense of release, like somebody gets it.
You would not believe the things that my guides have told me recently as I'm writing this book, because I channel messages and I automatic write. Holy crap. I'm going to mess with people's reality when I tell them how reality really works, because I have been downloading so many things. So let me just tell you one. So it's a little theory. It's not a big, huge, complicated one. So there is a big, huge, complicated one that'll blow your mind, but I'll tell you the little one. So something they told me last week or the week before was that we are actually all calibrated to our life purpose. So like, you know how like you're searching for your life purpose your whole life, okay? You're always like, what is my life purpose? What am I supposed to do? What is it? What is it? And you kind of like go through your whole life and you're like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then when you do find it, if you ask anyone who has found it, they'll say, oh my God, it was here the whole time. You know, like it was here waiting for me to find it. And so like I've had this theory that like your life purpose is kind of like just knocking on the door, waiting for you to open your whole life. The thing about life purpose that I did not realize until they literally laid it out for me was you are calibrated to your life purpose. You like when you decide to come into this life, you are actually programmed with your life purpose. So your set point is your life purpose. So I am a numerologist, okay? I was meant to do numerology. I think that's very obvious to anyone that knows me. But I didn't know that. I've been practicing for 20 years. I didn't know that that was my thing until about 5 years ago. I didn't realize that that was my thing. But you know, my mom brought it in. It's been in my life, my whole life. So like my mom carried it for me so that it would be in my life the whole time. I always thought that I took it from her because it was her thing. Like she practiced it until I decided to practice it. And then she kind of decided to put it down. And I always thought, oh man, I took it from her. And I had this guilt about it. And even, you know, at times she had some, you know, anger about that, like, because I'm taking it a lot further than she did. But what if she was carrying it for me as a soul contract? And
just about to say that you chose your mother for a reason.
Absolutely. And so what happened was when I came, so she started studying it when she was 19 or 18 or 19. I was born when she was 19, you know, so she literally picked it up for me, I think. Sorry, my cat's here. he likes to be here when we're doing stuff.
We like visitors, yes.
Yes. They like to just walk across my desk. It's so fun. But yeah, so what if she brought it in for me as an agreement and then we just forgot the agreement? And that's why sometimes parents can't put their stuff down. I was talking about this to a drummer that I know. And he said the same thing. His dad brought in drumming and he put it down the day that he was born. And so all of his life, he's had, yes, it's Merlin, Michelle. My cat's name is Merlin. But he put it down the day that this guy was born. And so this guy has had major success in his life now, and he plays on really big stages. And his dad, you know, he's always had guilt thinking, I took this from him, you know, like I learned because of him and I took this from him, and maybe I took his dream and he didn't get to have it. But the truth is, this is what we were talking about. I said, no, what if he just carried it in for you? And then he put it down when you were ready to pick it up. And now it was always yours. And so anyway, so the calibration thing, okay, what's really awesome is that you don't have to know what your life purpose is. What you have to know is what feels right. So like I've had coaches that have said, you know, you wouldn't want anything that you're not meant to have, you know, so don't feel guilty about wanting, you know, like I've always wanted millions of dollars. Okay. Not because I want to have millions of dollars. I want to impact the world. I want to do big things, and it costs millions of dollars to do that. So I've always wanted millions of dollars, and I've always been told to feel guilty about that. I've always been told, you know, that's not a good thing to want, you know, it's selfish or whatever. But I don't think that's true. I think that I want that because it's part of my path, you know, and if it's part of my path, I'm already calibrated to it. So like what you do is you just keep going, like you walk down your path and you go, does this feel better or does this feel better? Even slightly. Go with the one that feels better because it actually matches your calibration. You're not matching the world and what they want. You're matching your truth, and your truth has already been calibrated. So like you will find your life purpose just by literally asking yourself, is this better or is that better? Is this better or is that better? Which feels better? And it will walk you right to your life purpose, you know, because you're already calibrated. So yeah,
that was a mic drop right there. You nailed it. I think
good,
that
right?
beautifully explained. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I think that most of us can find our life purpose that way, just by feeling into it and
Yeah.
just really paying attention to what brings us our highest excitement.
Yeah.
If you see a number and you feel like, oh, you know, like that obviously was a message for you, and to listen to that and follow it.
Yeah. Well, and just trust it. Like trust that you came here on purpose and you're doing it all right and there's no way to do it wrong, and that, you know, everything that's happening is for you, not against you, you know, and right there you're already walking a lot of your life purpose, you know, just making something good out of a hard thing, you know.
Yeah. A lot of us had felt like we were like a victim of circumstance for many of our, you know, experiences in this world, but it was all trying to teach us something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I want to say hi, Javelin. I'm going to go see Javelin soon. Javelin's in.
There you go. Look at that. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. So I just started a new, I don't know, a new concept, I guess I'll call it. I've been hearing lately that it's time to start a podcast. I've been wanting to do an official podcast again for a long time. I did it for we recorded episodes for a year straight every week, and then finally released the week before the pandemic, and then it got shut down right away after 3 weeks of our podcast. And so I've been wanting to do an official podcast again. And then I decided to move my Friday nights into an official podcast. So my Friday nights will still be the way that they are. Every Friday night, they'll be live on Facebook. They'll also be live on YouTube. I didn't do that yet, but they will be. And then they'll also, I'm going to put them on Apple and Spotify probably like a day later or something like that, you know, because I don't think you can go live there. But I've moved into like a new format where instead of having Heather as my sidekick, which I love Heather, don't worry guys, I did not get rid of her or anything, not fired, even though I joke about that all the time. I always say I'm firing her when she's late. I did not fire her. But I'm making it an open chair, and I'm inviting other spiritual workers, kind of like you do, to come and have discussions with me, and to also do numerology with them. Like maybe I'll do their number, like very much like what we're doing today. Like I'll do their numbers, I'll do the audience's numbers, I'll do whatever, but we'll also talk about their work and what they do. And then I think it will just open it to like more, you know, more learning and more reach for people. Like they'll see more and learn more. I know so many light workers that I want to share so badly, and I can't, you know, so now it's an open chair, and it's going to be a revolving chair. And we started it last week. It was amazing. If you didn't see my live last week, you should go back and watch it, because it was the best one I think we've ever done. You know, it was really, really good. Because I had Yolanda, and she did card pulls while we did numbers, and she's also a numerologist, so she helped me with that. It was really good. And then, you know, I'm just going to move into this like open concept where that chair will be someone else every week, you know, forever, hopefully, you know, and it will become an official podcast though, like a real podcast, like not just my Friday nights anymore, hangout. Like it was like a hangout for 2 years, you know?
Oh, so I love that. It's a great opportunity for people to get to know more about themselves and each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm going to open it for other people to do applications to come in as well. So yeah.
Yeah. How exciting. Love that, Tami.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop your page for everybody to give you a
Oh,
follow
thank
so
you.
you guys
Thank
won't
you.
miss it.
Thank you. Hi, Stephanie. I'm so glad to see you. I love seeing your audience because like not only do I know a bunch of them now, but like I just love how active they all are. Like they're always like so here and present, and it's so nice to be here just because of that, you know. So
we're one big collective family.
Oh, that's oh wait. I don't know if that's right actually.
Is that the different one? Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know
Is
if
that your
that's right. Go to just do www.tamilopresti.com, and then that'll just take them to the website. That'll be easier. I don't really know what
page so they can follow you.
I don't know if it has that dot in there though. That's what I was thinking.
I just copied it. I went straight to it and copied it.
Oh, okay. So maybe it is right. Maybe I just don't see it that way. Sorry. I don't ever see it that way. So yeah, go there. That's fine. Sorry. I don't ever like type that out. So
there you go. Just drop it. There's the website for you guys as well.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Laura.
Absolutely. You know, this is the best way to move forward is together. You know, we're all, as they say, walking each other home.
Well, what I love about you is that, you know, we all call you the lighthouse. I don't know if you know that. Do you know that people call you that?
Thank you. That's very sweet.
It's kind of like in the background, you know, privately, we all call you that. We always say Laura.
It was Dolores that started calling me that. Yeah, it was Dolores that said that. That was really beautiful.
Well, maybe that's where it came from then. I didn't know that. But we all say like Laura's the lighthouse, and it's because you bring so many people together and you really do shine that light really far, you know, and you really are creating this collective that's amazing, you know. So, I mean, I think sometimes you underestimate your reach and, you know, what you're doing in the world, you know, and you really stand out. I hope you know that. I hope you realize that, you know.
To be honest, like I've been dealing with imposter syndrome for so long, you know what I mean, that it does kind of make you hide from your own limelight. And I have been my work is everything to me, just helping people and just being there to support the community. That's everything to me. So that's why I feel like
you have imposter syndrome in your chart. Like I have it too. Yeah. It's an 8-1 combination. Yeah. You do have it. And what's awesome about, you know, having imposter syndrome is that you can teach yourself how to prove to yourself that it's not true. You know, that's what I do because I go through waves of it where I'm like, who the hell am I to teach all these people? Like when people pay me a lot of money to learn from me, it really almost cripples me. It's very scary for me because then it's like this responsibility to then lead them properly. And I go, oh God, what if I lead them the wrong way? Or what if they spend all this money and their business doesn't take off or something like that, what I'm teaching them, you know? But the truth is that it's fucking amazing that people trust me on that level and that they, you know, they come for my guidance. And same with you. You're an amazing teacher. Like you have 2 5s in your chart, and that's the teaching number. You are an amazing teacher and you're going to impact a lot of people. You're also a leader, you know, so like you take that energy and you spread it, you know, like that lighthouse, you know. So yeah. So I just want you to think about that a lot more, you know, think about who you are in this world and who you want to be because you're facing this identity year, you know. Who do you want to be? Who do you want people to see you as? You know?
To be honest, I don't even know. And that's part of the problem because if you don't know, then you're still kind of figuring that out for yourself and working your way up to that. Yeah. I've considered it to be kind of a good thing because I want to stay humble as things grow. You know, I don't want my ego to get out of control. So I'm always telling it to sit down and be quiet, you know. So like, you know, it's a step in progress and we're all trying to kind of step into our power. And I feel like my power is rooted in making the world a better place as much as I possibly can.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Do you know what my biggest fear was when I started having some success and I started glimpsing what life could be, if I kept down this road. My biggest fear was that I would leave people behind, that I would become unreachable. Like so many people, they get very successful, and then all the people that got them there, they kind of forget them and they can't reach you anymore. And that was my biggest fear. And I went to my spirit guides with that. And I said, well, I just don't ever want to be somebody that people can't have an honest conversation with. I don't ever want to be someone that you can't just text me and say, hey, how are you doing? And they said, you get to choose. They're like, you get to choose how much reach people have to you and how much you want to, take them with you and all of that. That's all up to you. You don't leave that behind. That's just a choice, and you need to make the choice of what you want it to be. You shape your world, The thing with what you're going through and what I go through the same things, the thing about that is just that you're a humanitarian. You care so deeply about the people that are in your life and the people that are in your world that you don't want to hurt anybody. You just want people to be okay. And you want them to be okay so bad that you give up being okay yourself. And that's where it's not good, That's
where I'm trying to find the balance right now between being still reachable, but also not burning myself out. I've had problems with trying to do too much all at once.
Yes.
And so that's where I had to postpone 2 classes this weekend because I just can't do it right now. I've got my clients have to be my number one priority because many of them are suicidal and dealing with extremely bad attacks. So as long as I'm behind in my clearings, I feel like everything has to kind of, you know what I mean? Like take a backseat. And it's frustrating because you put too much on your plate and you don't realize it until you're full. And you're like, shit, I gotta move some things around here,
Well, and that's when you start getting the messages from your guides that say it's time to train other people to do my work, because
I am in the middle of that right now.
So. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you said something like way earlier. You said, gratitude is the most important energy. Yeah. Do you know that so every number has, that good and bad side. And if you're living in the hard side of any of the numbers, there's always something that can bring you out of it and can I always say win the number, Gratitude is what it is for the 8. So the fact that you know that already without anyone telling you that, probably you just kind of learn that yourself, you're already ahead, Gratitude is what wins the 8. So like the 8 cannot conquer you. You are the unconquerable as well. Like you actually have that pattern that in your chart. But not only that, it's like the 8 can't conquer you anyway if you practice gratitude. That's all the 8 wants. The 8 just wants to be recognized. Like it wants you to know how much it's providing in your life by giving you these hard lessons. It's important to have hard lessons. You would not learn anything, and you would not be the teacher that you are if you did not understand the people you're working with. So it's very important that you go through these things, and that's why you chose them, So
I feel like my guides are speaking through you today, Tami.
They are.
They are. Be like, hey, she needs to hear this today because you've been spot on with everything you've said today. So thank you. This was a very important conversation.
Of course.
For me, but I'm sure also for other people who are listening and resonating.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad I can help,
I love it. I'm so looking forward to your podcast. I'll be there for sure.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm really excited. It's a really fun thing that I just love that my business feels fun, like that my work is fun. That's all I ever wanted was a fun life that I want to wake up to. Isn't that what we all want?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, Javelin, you absolutely have that 8 going on. So.
Well, thank you so much, Tami. This has been such a fun conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. I always love being here.
Anytime. Absolutely. We'll have you back again soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you guys make sure that you check out Tami. She's got an amazing private session that she does for people. She's done one for me before, and she gives you so much information when she does your chart and everything. So I highly recommend booking a session with Tami if this is resonating with you.
And they're half off, guys. I forgot to say that. So all of my readings are half off right now for summer. And that sale is ending really soon. So if you want a session, do it now. Because they're going back up to full price soon. So
cool.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to say that. I always forget to.
You got it in there. It's the important time. Yeah. Remember, your guides are like, "Hey, don't forget."
Yes. So anyway.
Awesome. Love you guys very much. I hope you all have a magical day, and we'll see you with Lloyd tomorrow. We'll do some card pulling tomorrow.
Yay!
Love everybody. Have a good one.
Bye everyone.